Welcome to Don't Call It Small Business. I'm your host, Natasha Foreman, and it's awesome to be here with you today. Oh, goodness. I'm bouncing with the music. This is our third show, and I'm not only excited about what's planned for today's discussion, but what we have planned for upcoming shows. And I have a special surprise for you that I'm going to share at the end. That I don't know if I'm going to scare you or if I'm going to excite you, but I'm going to share it anyway. So today we'll discuss business news related to sports, the food industry, a helpful shark, and China. I know that sounds so bizarre, but trust me, it's going to be fun and informative. I will also address some of the questions and suggestions shared by a few of our listeners. Today's show will be longer than our last two, so hopefully you tuned in during your commute or lunchtime, or maybe you have your headset on at work and you're trying to multitask. Whatever you're doing and however you're listening, I thank you. So, without further delay, let's do this, shall we? All right. So, let's start with sports. Digging through with my sports. According to MSN and other news outlets, there are rumors and speculations about the Big Baller brand, which is the retail company founded and operated by LeVar Ball. If you don't know him and his sons, Google them. That's all I can say. Anywho, rumors say that the company is struggling with sales, tied to its high price points, inability to honor orders in a timely and accurate manner, and receiving a failing grade from the Better Business Bureau last year. Can you say yikes? Yeah, that's bananas. Let's see. What else? So, rumors are also being fueled because the company decided to place a pop-up shop at a volleyball tournament. Yep, a volleyball tournament. And they were selling shirts for and hats and clothes and different things with a serious discount. They had a major clearance sale. And let's see, they were selling t-shirts for $5 that are normally priced at $50. Yeah. There was also some bundles they were doing for $100, and they included shoes that normally retailed at $400. There was, their online store, up until recently, their online store offered a 40% plus discount on their products. They were calling it their spring cleaning sale. So, I don't know, maybe the deep discounts, their attempt to offload some old, low-selling inventory to make room for new merchandise. Maybe. I guess you'll just have to wait and see, right? Or you can just sit back and just keep on speculating. Whatever floats your boat. It doesn't seem like the brand was really aligned for customers with premium taste and the premium income to pay for the things that they desire, that they would then turn around and slash their prices so drastically to allow the little people a chance to buy the brand that they were told they weren't balling enough to purchase in the beginning. I don't know. But clearly the company's been liquidating in a major way. And that website that I mentioned earlier, it's been down for several months. The message on it says it's under construction. So customers can't even purchase at a 40% discount rate anymore. Because of that and more troubling news and activities, some people are really alarmed. Others are saddened because they really want to see this brand thrive. And then there are some folks that are gleefully sharing the news of this company's potential demise. You know what, folks? It happens. Welcome to the big leagues, right? There are some lessons to be learned from this business example. Lesson 1, don't bash the public or the public will celebrate every bruise and bump you take along your journey, and they will wait with bated breath for your company's demise. It's one thing to talk trash on the court or field to an opponent, but doing so to potential customers leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. I mean, let's be clear. You don't see Louis Vuitton and McLaren popping off at the mouth demeaning people who can't afford their products. Nope. They set their prices, and they know that those who pay are those who have the means to pay. Period. You come into their location, and either you have the means to leave with their product or you don't. But they're not bashing you if you can't. Number 2, lesson 2. There's nothing wrong with having premium priced products. Just know the product, know your market, know if it can bear the weight, right? Constantly track demand, make sure that you can adequately and timely supply the demand, and make sure that you can fund all the blunders that bad PR, economic shifts, manufacturing errors and delays, and anything else that wants to come up and blindside you. Make sure that you can fund it, that you have the finances to cover it. Lesson 3, get help from people who are strong where you are weak. I'm going to repeat that. Get help from people who are strong where you are weak. And one more time for the people in the back that aren't paying attention. Get help from people who are strong where you are weak. Even if you don't see your weaknesses, please believe they're there. Trust me, they're there. You need better than you. You need better than you to protect you from you and sometimes the world from you. Okay, so enough about that. Let's move from a baller and let's go swim with a shark. What? Don't worry, it won't bite. Well, I don't think so. Do you guys watch Shark Tank? Have you watched it? Do you watch it? I like Shark Tank. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm not talking about an actual Shark Tank. I'm talking about the TV show. You know, with the wealthy investors, and they're called sharks, and they give you time to pitch your business idea for a chance to gain the investors' money for 10, 20, 50% of your company. Yeah, that show. Okay, great. We're on the same page. Well, if you watch Shark Tank, then you know Barbara Corcoran. She's one of the sharks on the show. She's giving back to women in a powerful way. It's an amazing way. If you don't know her story, let me tell you her early beginnings in a quick little recap. In her 20s, so Barbara's in her 70s now. In her 20s, she was a waitress. One day she quit her job. She just said, I'm done with this. And she got a $1,000 loan, and she started her New York City real estate brokerage business. In 2001, she sold that business for $66 million. Yes, I said $1 million. Barbara's been in business for a long time. She understands the struggles of starting and running a business and the lack of capital to fund those businesses, especially if you're a woman. According to the 2018 Women-Owned Businesses Report, 72% of female business owners cite a lack of funding and cash flow as their biggest obstacle. 48% of female founders state a lack of mentors has held them back, while 31% cite the lack of support systems as a hurdle. Trust me, I can relate. I can totally relate. Now, Barbara has teamed up with iFundWomen and the eye drops brand Sustain to help female business owners with the things that have traditionally held them back. iFundWomen is a crowdfunding platform for female entrepreneurs. You heard that right. I Fund Women. The letter I, Fund Women, is a crowdfunding platform for female entrepreneurs. Sustain wants to provide more than eye drops to these entrepreneurs. Now, don't get me this wrong. Like, they're going to still provide eye drops, but they want to provide more than eye drops to these entrepreneurs. They collaborated with iFundWomen and Barbara to launch a campaign called Real Relief for Visionary Women campaign. I'm going to say that again. Real Relief for Visionary Women campaign. And it aims to provide 8 women business owners with mentorship through iFundWomen. $5,000 each in grants for a total of $40,000. And this is going to help, build their companies. Grant winners will be announced November 19th. And if you don't know what's special about November 19th, besides it being 3 days after my mother's birthday, is that it's Women's Entrepreneurship Day. Yay! So this is a great way to celebrate these female entrepreneurs and women's entrepreneurship around the world. So To all of the women out there listening to me right now, if you haven't done so already, check out ifundwomen.com and sustain.com for details. You can also follow and like iFundWomen on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Their handle is their name. If you want to access their crowdfunding platform and to get coaching, then visit beta.ifundwomen.com. That's beta.ifundwomen.com. I'll share this on our blog and a link on our social media so you have quick access. And I know you heard me say crowdfund coaching, and I know you probably did a double take. Yes, iFundWomen have coaches to show you the crowdfunding ropes. They have free and premium plans to choose from. Isn't that awesome? So do your homework, read all the terms for participating in crowdfunding through iFundWomen, and I wish you all the best. Now, this news ties into one of our social media followers' questions about access to capital. So they wanted some tips, so I'm going to share just a few. It's not an exhaustive list. Here's just a few off the top of my mind. Of course, there's plenty more to choose from, but here's just the basics for startups, right? This is where we naturally gravitate. There are more options out there than what I'm going to share. I just want to stress that. And I want someone saying that this is it. This is not limited. There's a limitless supply of resources in the world for you to choose from. Here's just a few, because I don't have that much time. So, resource one, if you haven't done so already, ask your family and inner circle for a gift in the amount that you need. I said a gift, because a gift you don't pay back. Maybe there's someone who loves you and your idea enough to make that investment with a desire to see you thrive, being their only ROI expectations. ROI means return on investment. They invest this money in you, and the only thing they want in return is to see you thrive. Maybe that's something that you can utilize. However, if the gift approach is too bold or is a big fat no, here's option 2. You can ask for a loan. I would say with a liberal, flexible yet well-structured ROI plan, nothing too aggressive, right? And make sure that you have it outlined and agreed to in writing. People, please don't promise to pay the loan back in less than 12 months unless the loan is less than $5,000. So many startups have this brilliant streak of whatever dome that has them thinking that they will strike it rich within the first 60 days of launch, when the reality is that most companies struggle to have enough net income after expenses to buy toilet paper, let alone pay an investor. Be realistic, okay? And the last thing you want to do is tick off a family member or friend over money, so please don't take that risk. Be smart. Be very smart. Now, tip 3, share your business ideas on a crowdfunding platform and raise capital that way. Ladies, I just shared one option for you. I'll share some other platforms and details about crowdfunding later in the show, so stay tuned. I will say this before I move on to the next thing, is that whichever platforms that you do choose, do your homework in advance. Know the rules of engagement, the fees, terms, and restrictions before you launch your campaign. It doesn't make sense to find this information out afterwards or when you're trying to wait for your funds to come through. Know before you start. Tip 4. If you have money or other property that you can use as collateral, then see if a bank or credit union will back your business idea in the form of a loan or some other arrangement. Just remember that banks lend money to people with money. I'm going to say that again. Banks lend money to people with money. Your $0 balance in your account is not at all attractive to a financial institution. You not having a bank account is not attractive to a financial institution. You better come with some money or have some kind of property that you can use as collateral. You have to have skin in the game, people. You got to risk something just like them. All right? So, tip 5, you can always get a part-time job and save that money and use that towards your startup. Or you can allocate a portion from your current job and take some of that paycheck and save what you need to launch your business idea. It's possible to start an idea on a shoestring budget. Don't think that you need to, start off and you have to have a $50,000 or $100,000 plus to start. It's possible to start an idea on a shoestring budget. You just have to reimagine your start. and create the plans that will allow you to operationalize the strategy for your long-term success. So you're going to have to come up with a strategy, break that down into a tactical plan, and then break that down even further to an operational plan so that you can work with something that is more condensed and then be able to build up to something that reaches the level that you're trying to achieve. Now, tip 6. Another idea is to participate in pitch competitions and give it all that you have in the 2 to 5 minutes that you're allocating, that they've allocated to you. To share your ideas in hopes of convincing. It's usually about 3 to 5 judges. So you're going to have to convince them to fund your business. To say, yes, you've won this money or this amount of money. You could win anywhere from $5,000 to over $100,000 depending on the competition. So these are just a few ideas. If you have used any of these ideas or methods in the past, or if you use others, please let me know. Give us a shout out on social media, tag us, use our hashtag Don't Call It Small, or you can send us an email to don'tcallitsmallbiz@gmail.com. That's don't call it small biz@gmail.com. All right, now I'm hungry. I'm very hungry. So let's talk about food. Okay? It makes no sense because it's just going to make me hungrier, but hey, I'm a glutton for punishment. So let's talk food. I'm going to share something with you. It's a headline that I created, and I want you to guess what company I'm talking about. So you ready? From sick customers to all-time high stock shares. From sick customers to all-time high stock shares. That's like a tongue twister. Which company am I referring to? I'll give you a second. Okay, second's up. If you said Chipotle, then you are correct. On Monday, shares of Chipotle climbed 1.2% to an all-time high. Yes, after more than 3 years dealing with a food safety crisis that tarnished their brand and beat the mess out of their shares, Chipotle Mexican Grill Incorporated is surging, folks. They are surging. Their shares as of Monday were $759.87, $759.87, like per share. The highest since their 2006 IPO. So how did they bounce back? And here's the thing. When their shares were low, did any of you guys gobble them up at the lower price? Because now they're high. How'd they bounce back? Well, if you recall, the first clobbering of the food safety crisis began in 2015. Yes, it was a clobbering, folks. It was a clobbering. People were so terrified to go into Chipotle, which made it so easy for me because that meant that the lines were so much shorter for me to enjoy their food. And yes, from 2015 to 2018, it did not stop me at all. Well, in March 2018, the former CEO of Taco Bell, Brian Niccol, jumped in to try to save Chipotle. And I loved it. He had his cape on and everything. Okay, well, he didn't, but I visualized one. So here's 3 strategies that Niccol and his team focused on. Pay close attention, because you may need to write these down, because you may need them in the future. Heck, some of you may need them now. So are you ready? All right. Here they are in no particular order. First, marketing. Through social media engagement, new ad campaigns on TV, including a partnership with NBA, Niccol and his team worked tirelessly to solve their image problem. Now, I'm not telling you to go and now try to find a bunch of cash to dump into ad campaigns for TV. I'm also not telling you to go try to rush and find some big, organization to have a partnership so that you can get greater presence. I'm just saying, utilize marketing. Get your message out there. Get your face out there. That's what I'm saying. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, the second strategy they utilized was that in 2018, they inked a deal with DoorDash, and they started investing heavily in food delivery. Yes, food delivery. Now, for me, I've always gone into a Chipotle store. I've walked inside and ordered my food. A couple of times I've ordered online and then rushed in to pick it up, but most of the time I walk in and I pick all the different things I want, and I create this huge fajita pole that they could barely close. But Chipotle realizes that there are a lot of people that really want their food delivered to them. So they invested heavily in this with DoorDash, and it's clearly working in their favor because an Edison Trends survey showed that from May of last year to May of this year, Chipotle has had the biggest increase in food sales from delivery apps among national brands. You heard that right. No one, I repeat, no one came close to Chipotle's delivery app sales. Isn't that awesome? I mean, that's like awesomeness overload. I love it. So their third strategy was focused on rewards. How could they reward their customers? The loyalty that was demonstrated in those of us that continued coming to Chipotle even with the fear factor in place. Well, in the first quarter of this year, Chipotle launched a loyalty program where they gave between $1 and $500 to anyone who signed up. Did it work to Chipotle's benefit? Heck yeah. In April, their first quarter report shows that profit and sales far exceeded their or anyone else's expectations. I mean, far exceeded. I was reading an article in Forbes where they stated that Chipotle shares have risen 76% since the start of this year, which places them amongst the best performing in the S&P this year. Wowzers. I want you to say that with me. Wowzers. It may not even be a word that you like to use, but you need to say it with me. Wowzers. So, next week, July 23rd, we will see the results from their quarter two report and see how they're faring. I hope that they continue to soar. I love seeing people and companies thrive, especially after suffering a major beatdown. I mean, they were beat down, and look where they are now. Amazing. So, what are the lessons here that we in the Big Baller brand can learn and apply? Now, don't start frowning your face. Don't get it twisted. I'm not bashing Big Baller brand. I'm just using them as an example. We're all here to learn from ourselves and each other, right? So we learn from our mistakes, our heartbreaks, our successes, our failures, and our blunders. So let's get back to what I'm saying. What lessons can be learned from Chipotle's example? Well, this is what I came up with. Lesson 1, use marketing to your advantage. Get people onto your team or outsource to a team that can do the job, that can push out content that informs and engages consumers, content that helps to positively draw them in, and, well, content that could positively change their mind about your brand. So whether it's new or tarnished, struggling or barely visible, you can put content out there that'll make people think all kinds of great things about you. It can help build trust and provide a consistent and welcoming presence. I know that my company's fallen short in the marketing side, and I have an MBA with a marketing specialization. Like, duh. The problem started and it ends with me. If I know the need for a strong marketing plan, I create the plan with the help of others, but then we don't execute the plan fully, whose fault is it? That would be Natasha Foreman for $100, Jim. Exactly. So, Chipotle has shown that you can dig yourself out of a valley using marketing as one tool. When we look at Big Baller Brand's social media sites, they've been like a ghost town since March 22nd. Some say that it may be due to ESPN. They released a report earlier that month, and I guess it kind of gave the Big Baller Brand a black eye. So I don't know, but just like Chipotle, if Big Baller Brand wants to rebound, they can. They need to create positive buzz that pulls people's minds away from the negative reporting and what's been going on internally and externally, and instead help people think about the possibilities of the future while rewarding them for today, right? So they can do it. If they really want to, they can do it. You can do it. Now, a second lesson using Chipotle is we can reach people where they are and where they want to be. If your brand requires massive sales to operate and thrive, then position your brand where you can reach the masses easier. Make it easier for customers to reach and purchase from you. When I went to Big Baller Brand's website, it's been down. The message says under construction, and that site has been down for several months. But they have an online store that people can't access and purchase from. So they're really going to have to rally their business troops, do some outreach to retail industry vets, get help from seasoned executives that know how to build, strengthen, and turn around companies. Well, maybe that's what they're in the process of doing now. Maybe that's why the site is down. I mean, they did fire the co-founder, Alan Foster, right? There was some dealing with embezzlement. Maybe, just maybe, they're cleaning house and getting things ready for a comeback. Like Chipotle. Okay. Lesson 3. Offer customers and potential customers something that they can't resist. Well, at least not for long, right? It could be a loyalty program or some other assortment of perks that keeps them coming back, spreading the news and singing your praises. Whatever it is, like, come up with something. Be creative. See what's working for other people. See what's not. Ask around. Ask your friends. Ask the folks that follow you on social media. And then try them out. Just keep trying until something works. All right, now, let's switch hats, shall we? Since the United States is having an interesting stare-down competition, you could call it something else, another kind of competition, but I'll be mindful of my audience and just call it a stare-down competition. They're having this with China, and this competition has so far resulted in many Chinese companies being blacklisted and a lot of U.S. workers facing unemployment. Case in point, Chinese cell phone company Huawei has been blacklisted. This is a major problem for Huawei and the American businesses who have Huawei as a client. See, we forget that components of many of our technological products like cell phones, computers, printers, televisions are oftentimes a strategic culmination of multiple companies and several companies. I mean, heck, there's an element of your cell phone that comes from, I believe, Rwanda. So obviously someone was asleep if they didn't know that there's a great amount of American technology powering Huawei's smartphones. But there's nothing that Huawei, their subsidiaries, or the companies that make money off of them can do about the blacklisting or the 850 U.S.-based jobs that may be wiped out this year. Yep. There are over 850 U.S. workers employed at Huawei's R&D subsidiary, FutureWe Technologies. If you don't know what R&D means, it's research and development. So FutureWe Technologies has 850 workers, and these workers may lose their job. It's in the U.S. So those of you who want to be nationalistic and think that it's in China, no, they're in the U.S. These are U.S. workers losing U.S. jobs. So think about that. Matter of fact, one of you may be one of these workers. Anyway, when you get a moment, read the Wall Street Journal article from July 14th that shares in detail the extensive plans for layoffs and the lives that are going to be impacted. Then share your thoughts about this ordeal. You can tag us in your social media. You can use hashtag Don't Call Us Small. Shoot us an email to don'tcallussmallbiz@gmail.com. Let us know. All right. Now let's keep this ball rolling, shall we? We received other requests from listeners that I'm going to address in a separate show. Now, wait a minute now. Don't clutch your pearls, as the good ladies in the South like to say. Don't freak out. The show will broadcast today. All right, the second one's going to broadcast today. You heard that correctly. I'm going to do 2 shows. The second one will broadcast later today, and you will get a double dose of me today. Lord have mercy. I'm not sure if you're ready for or willing to endure a double dose of me. But guess what? You're getting it anyway. Now, let's begin to wrap up this episode by walking back and sharing some information on startup and operating capital. Do you remember that portion of this show? Good. If you recall earlier, I discussed crowdfunding as a financing option. So let's discuss some of the platforms for for-profits. You guys know some of these. So we have Indiegogo, GoFundMe, Let's Launch, Kickstarter, Republic, Circle Up, Crowdfunder, CrowdSupply, Fundable, and probably 15 billion other options out there for for-profits and your kids' summer camp fees and basketball fees that you don't want to fund all by yourself. But let's also discuss which platforms are suitable or wholly focused on nonprofits, NGOs, and the like. All right, you ready? I will make sure that all of these sites are listed on our company blog, and links will be provided through our social media accounts, so don't feel hard-pressed to write all of them down right now. Just note that this isn't an exhaustive list, just a handful, so do your research to find the others. All right, now, here we go. I'm going to clear my... All right, so there's Mobile Cause, Just Giving, CauseVox, that's with a V, Fundly, Let's Launch, Global Giving, Classy, and there's Kind.Fund. Let's see, there's Chuffed, which is pretty cool because the donors pay your processing fee. See, most platforms require that you pay the processing fee. So it's really cool that Chuffed is providing this cool feature, allowing donors to cover the cost so that you can rake in more money for your organization. Good job, Chuffed. Another platform is CrowdRise. Your organization must be a 501c3 in good standing. Good GoFundMe's nonprofit side is only for U.S.-based 501c3s. So just so that you know, if you try to go to GoFundMe and you're not in the U.S. and you don't have, then you can't do it. Got it? All right. Now, another option is UCaring. They don't have platform fees for campaigns that they host, including nonprofits. You pay 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction to the payment processor. You can use PayPal or WePay. They recommend WePay. You can read on their site why. It's a list. There are some other restrictions that you need to educate yourself on before joining UCaring. Remember, I told you that. Disclaimer, you need to go on their site so that you know before you start. Let's see. Oh, there's another platform called Razoo. RAZOO. Its primary focus is U.S.-based businesses, but if your nonprofit's based outside of the U.S., you'll need to find a U.S.-based organization willing to act as your fiscal sponsor. They explain the process in greater detail on their blog. Just click on the support button and you'll find the details there. Fundraiser.com. Razr.com is a Canadian crowdfunding platform that uses PayPal and WePay for payment processing, which means if your organization isn't in the US, UK, or Canada, then it's not the option for you. So don't even go to their site. First Giving is a platform that is wholly devoted to nonprofit crowdfunding. What's really cool is you can fundraise for free or with a paid prescription. Before I forget, Indiegogo is a no-no for nonprofit crowdfunding. You heard that right. Indiegogo is a no-no for crowdfunding if you're a nonprofit. Their Generosity.com nonprofit crowdfunding platform was sold to UCaring in 2018. Yes, the same UCaring that I just mentioned moments ago. YOUCARING.com. Yes, they now own that platform. And as of March 2018, all campaigns that are being redirected from the Indiegogo nonprofit site of Generosity, they're being redirected to UCaring. Now, on the other hand, if you have a for-profit, then you can go yourself to your heart's content. But nonprofits, if you want to utilize the features of Generosity.com, you're going to have to go over to UCaring. Now, one of our social media followers who has an NGO in the country of Namibia. Namibia is in Africa. It's in South Africa. It's in the southern part of Africa, next to South Africa, next to the country South Africa. So those of you that are not good with your geography, I'm trying to help you out. Go to the very bottom of the continent. You'll see Namibia, in case you didn't know. So, I used to teach an economic development course on Africa at Emory, and it was so amazing how many of my students they didn't know where certain countries were, but they knew where Madagascar was, and that's because of the animation film, but they couldn't pinpoint the vast majority of the countries there. Anyway, I digress. So, Namibia. He wants to raise capital for his organization. So for you, sir, we recommend you doing research on the following platforms that we found. So there's GoGetFunding.com. There's JustGiving.com. And then there's Namibia's first crowdfunding platform called NamStarter. NAM Starter. Registration is said to be quick, easy, and it's 100% free. The Finnish embassy supports the platform, making it possible for them to run as seamless as they have so far. You can read details about that on their site. The platform's for any Namibian that has an innovative idea for a new or existing project. So for more details, visit NamStarter, that's NAM starter.rlabsnamibia.org. I'll put the link on our site, so don't worry. Well, folks, that's a wrap for this episode. We've reached the end, at least for now. Tune in to part 2 shortly. Be sure to follow our podcast on Twitter at DCIS_biz with a Z podcast. I'm not sure what platform you're listening to us from today, but we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, CastBox, and Spreaker. We'll be coming to you soon on other platforms, so stay tuned. Follow Foreman Associates on Instagram and Facebook. Our handle is our name, Foreman and Associates, all spelled out. That's ForemanAssociates. Please, folks, don't forget the E in Foreman. People always leave out the E. We're also on Twitter. Our handle is the number 4MAN Associates. To learn more about our company and the consulting, professional development, and business support services that we offer, please visit our website at ForemanLLC.com. Please spread the word about the Don't Call a Small Business podcast. And please, 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 please continue to share your questions and suggestions with us. Let me know. What do you think we should discuss next? Was the length of this episode cool with you? I'm a talker, but I try not to talk too much, so let me know. I will see you shortly on part 2 of this conversation, which will be episode 4. Stay tuned for more.